Alrighty, y'all. So, today, day 41, we had an awesome back day. Straight crushed it. Crazy pump. Took a couple photos afterwards. Pretty okay with the way back's developing. Definitely would like to start seeing, those love handles start disappearing. But we'll see. They'll start going away. That's not a big deal. And then woke up. We are still 210 this morning. So 2 days in a row. Happy with that. That means tomorrow we will probably wake up lower. Then, tomorrow we're going to have to substitute our first meal, unfortunately. I went through that Elevate cream of rice a little faster than I thought. So one serving's a scoop. I do 2 scoops. Add 2 scoops per meal. One of those bags only is enough for 7 days. You get 14 servings. So, that kind of sucks because, they're expensive. It's like $28 a bag. So, but it tastes good, digests real easily. So, for the duration of the prep, I guess I'll be spending like $110 a month on just cream of rice. But hey, to get in the fast digesting carbs like that digest easily and have actually fueled my workouts the best that they kind of ever have been, I'm gonna do it. So, we got day 41 today. So that means 105 days. So, let's see. 70 is 10 plus 31. 14. So, basically 15 weeks. So, it'll add up, but it is what it is. Now, tomorrow, though, to substitute that, we'll replace it with some jasmine rice, and we'll just end up making like a spicy sriracha honey glaze for the chicken and rice. And it should do the job. Now, the meal's still going to be 71 grams of protein, basically 16 grams of fat, and a total of 685 calories. So, and I think it's 65 grams of carbs, something like that. But basically matching the same macros as the chicken, cream of rice, and banana. Now, is it super important to keep your meals the same? I don't think so, not really. But what is important is tracking how each meal affects your digestion. Does it make you bloat? Do you retain a little extra water? Things like that. Because one, they're going to affect the scale, right? If you get a little gut discomfort, slows down digestion a little bit, maybe it backs you up for a day. Say it's got a little extra salt than normal. and like carbs are a little higher per se, you can expect, to be a little heavier on the scale because you're going to retain some more water with it. It seems basically for every gram of carbs you consume, your body is going to take in between 2 and 4 grams of water to match that volume. So, it is something to be aware of. And then obviously the more sodium you have, the more water you're going to retain. But that's not really too much of an issue until you're into that last 45, 30 days of prep. And then the last week really matters. So if you have a pretty high sodium diet, one of the things I saw today from Ryan Terry, basically, one of the best in the world when it comes to men's physique itself, he was saying, his sodium intake's pretty high, and he likes to use soy salt or soy sauce. And then when it comes to the last week of prep, he starts pulling that down and cutting it out some, right? So his sodium intake, he said, basically cuts in half to start depleting that water. Which makes sense, you don't want to be watery on stage, but up until that point, you want to try to retain it. Because that's nutrients and hydration for the body itself for it to function. So, salt is not necessarily bad. Now granted, that doesn't mean go out and eat a whole shit ton of salt. Because one, you're going to dehydrate yourself. And two, if you just consume more salt than you're normally consuming, you also have the ability to spike your blood pressure and a whole bunch of other bad things. So, then carb sources, again, whether it's pasta or rice, honey, a sweetener, whatever, they all have a different factor on your digestion, as well as the glycemic index, which is going to affect your glucose and insulin levels. So, if you're spiking those things all crazy, you could lead into some issues of retaining body fat, mood swings, mental fog, all sorts of other things. So, for that, it's what makes you feel the best. And then, you've got protein. That's the building block for everything. So, when it comes to protein, especially during your cut, lean is best. So, you got your chicken breast, you got your tuna, you got your ground turkey, you got your sirloin steak, and your pre-ground 90 or 93% lean ground beef. Those are going to be your leanest sources right there. Keeping fats down, which keeps the calories down. Not only that, because the calories are lowest there, the volume is the greatest. So it's going to help you stay full. It's just like carbs that are super high in fiber. The more fiber that's there, the more you're going to feel full. And the less it's going to affect glucose and blood sugar and all that stuff, because most fiber is insoluble. Your body can't break it down. It's just there to make some mass So that way your body has some stool to get rid of. And you can stay a little more consistent. Because what happens is when you get into these super lean diets and your calories start depleting, but you're eating so clean from like the chicken breast and the rice and the potato, there's not much mass that gets left behind as a byproduct or waste. So by taking in that fiber, it'll absorb that water and help kind of scrape and sponge, like scrub your intestines clean on its way out. So, kind of helps with some bloat, constipation, things like that. So, those are really your key factors to play around with. So, come up with 3 basic meals that you like and eat them for 3 weeks. 1 for breakfast, 1 for lunch, 1 for dinner. But play around with each one of them. Swap out a carb on one of them for 2 or 3 days. How do you feel? Then change the carb on another one for 2 or 3 days. See how you feel. And so on. Or whatever sauce or seasonings or hot sauce or whatever, right? So, all of those things are going to play into figuring out what you can eat and when. But with that, guys, make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.